On this episode of the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino for OU football, the front office is set, and the Sooners got 3 commitments this week. Then Antonio Daniels joins us to break down the NBA Finals between the Thunder and Pacers, and we give you our winners and losers of the week. Please download and subscribe to the podcast, rate it 5 stars, and write us a good review. Check out our website, okbreakdown.com, and follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. All right, our man Michael Hosty will kick this thing off. It's time for the Oklahoma Breakdown. It's a beautiful Wednesday, June 11th. And you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful, award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards, and it's kind of a nice time of the summer. Little recruiting
going on. Yeah.
Little recruiting. NBA Finals, obviously a very big deal. But I don't know, it just feels suspiciously calm.
There's a lull in the action a little bit. We got recruiting stuff that probably it has heated up and will, I imagine, continue throughout the month of June.
Do you want to start with recruiting or start with OU finally making the front office hires official?
Let's start with the big wigs.
Yeah. Front office, like a legitimate front office.
Yeah.
When you look at it, we clearly knew Jim Nagy was going to be the general manager. They announced that Lake Dawson will be the senior assistant general manager. Taylor Redd will be the assistant general manager. Drew Hill, our guy, moves to director of scouting. He was previously the director of player personnel. Cale Pearson is now the director of high school scouting. Stacy Ford was named the director of player personnel and retainment. What a title. What an excellent title.
I like that. You got to have retainment.
And then the last piece of the front office is Charlie Parkinson. He will be the assistant director of college scouting. Ted, this is a legit front office, man. This is 7 guys that have a ton of experience at the high school level, the college level, especially in the NFL. This is pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, and it's what I really liked about it is pretty diverse backgrounds. Guys, can from kind of different walks of football, all levels, as you said. There's a lot of experience in there, and not knowing a whole lot about all of the guys other than kind of what's listed in the bios. I like what I see.
Lake Dawson is a guy that was at multiple of my stops.
Really?
Yeah. Now he was a player too. He had like a 5 or 6 year NFL career. And then he has done it all in NFL scouting in the last 25 years. And when I saw the name, I went, I know that guy. He was in Tennessee when I was there. And then I went, wait a second. He was in Cleveland when I was there too. Like I recognize I've never really had many interactions with Lake, but it was just pretty funny to see a familiar face get brought into the fold. And I don't want to overblow this, but he's got a very good reputation in the scouting circles in the NFL. And he's been doing it for a very long time. Honestly, I didn't think Jim Nagy was going to get a guy of the caliber of Lake Dawson to leave the NFL and come work at OU. I just didn't think, like, the guy's been doing it in the NFL for 25 years.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you're leaving a known organization, right? The NFL is not going anywhere. And I don't think college football is going anywhere either, but there's so much like in flux at the time. Like he must really like the ideas that they have and must really like the group of people that they're going to be working with in order to leave something that you're so sure of for something that still feels like a frontier in football.
Yeah, for a guy that is, the caliber that is the caliber of scout and has the skill set and the reputation that Lake Dawson has, a guy like him to leave the NFL for OU it's a big get for Nagy. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
No, I like it for sure. Totally agree on that.
And that's why you saw many people in the NFL world commenting on that, like, man, nice get with
Right.
Lake.
Yeah. And I don't know. And it's hard to know what, I'm not on everyone's Twitter feed from across the country. So I don't know what other schools, scouting department and front office and what all that looks like, but they did not hold back at all putting this group together. I'm sure it is as good or perhaps the best in college football.
One thing I really like is I'm sure Jim Nagy has come across all of these guys at some point. It feels like all NFL people in the NFL scouting community, like they know each other a little bit, but this isn't a group of like Jim Nagy's guys, like guys he's worked extensively
Right.
with.
Yeah.
He took some big swings and went and got some guys.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. Like, this isn't a bunch of guys that Jim's worked with that are going to just listen to everything he says. These are guys that are going to have very strong opinions on players and on evaluations, whether that's recruits, portal guys, the current roster. And I think he put together a group of guys that are all really good dudes that have a ton of experience, but that will also challenge each other in a very positive way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, um, yeah, if you just kind of go from the pool of guys that you've always worked with, you're probably not going to get challenged on ideas. And I don't know. I think having, like I said earlier, that diverse group, at least the hope is that helps you arrive to the right answer more frequently.
It's a front office that doesn't have a bunch of football ops nerds, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I was reading about Cale Pearson. My goodness.
Yeah.
Was
That
for the last 3 years was the GM at the Air Force Academy, where he ran the recruiting department, served as the NFL liaison. Oh, and he was also the assistant QB coach.
that's a lot.
But this guy was a captain and quarterback at Air Force and also served in Afghanistan. So yeah, I feel like I need I've got everything I need to know about that guy. Yeah, certified badass. Got it. Check.
That's a guy's guy right there, isn't it?
That is a
Stories
football
galore.
guy right there.
Love that.
Can't wait to meet. I don't think I've met Cale Pearson before. So Oklahoma guy too. So hey, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very cool. Yeah. Again, man, I love what they're doing. When Joe Castiglione and Harris and those guys decided to make this move and go to this style of, an organization, they didn't dip the toe in the water. They're going all in and building out this entire front office. And so far, it looks great.
I think it is fair to say that Oklahoma football has set the standard for front offices in college football.
Yeah.
No one else in the country has a front office with this much experience and the reputations that these guys have. No one. And you're right, man. Credit to Joe Harris and Joe Castiglione for going all in on building it out. This is an elite front office for a college football program. And credit to Coach Venables and his staff for embracing it the way that they've embraced it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess, that's the only, I don't know, risk is necessarily the right word is, I don't know that anyone else has built it out this way, but you're kind of, guessing at what's going to work because it's a different animal than the NFL is, and not that all these guys are just pure NFL backgrounds, but I mean, I think it's still a bit of a moving target as to what the exact, makeup or build out of a front office in college football in the current era looks like.
Yeah. I mean, we could lie to everyone and say we know what it's going to look like. We don't.
We don't.
But I expect OU's roster to get better. I mean, you collect all of these guys, especially all these guys with NFL experience. It's going to be a more traits-driven roster. You just have to assume that. Now, playing football at a high level is still the most important thing. But I think you're going to see guys, just when they walk out on the field, you're going to go, OU looks the part. They look like a big-time SEC program. Like that is what I am anticipating. I believe that they are going to have a big effect when it comes to the body types that they're targeting for recruits, for portal guys. I just think they're going to have a big influence in, honestly, just making the team bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting to me, like, how does it all marry up? And I think it's more on defense than it is necessarily on offense. College defense is different than NFL defense. It just is. The way that it's called, you actually, I think that college defenses, because of the rules, some of the formations, the way the field is laid out, there's way more variables than there is in the NFL. So it kind of has to change things to a certain degree. You kind of say in the NFL, you just go let your players play, right? And you dial up different blitzes, and you do some interesting things in coverage, but a lot of it is, can you rush? Can you beat blocks? Can you tackle? Can you cover? And I'm curious to see how the philosophies marry up with how you play defense in college.
It'll be interesting. You want to know one interesting thing that I noticed about the front office?
What do I ever?
7 guys.
7 guys. 7's the right number.
7 Heisman Trophy winners. 7 national championships. Now 7 members of the front office. What does it mean, Ted? I don't know. I just noticed it.
What is it in there's something about Mary, 7 squirrels swinging on a branch, 7 squirrels at your uncle's ranch.
I don't know. I just noticed, hey, 7 guys, and 7's a pretty significant number around here right now.
7's the number, man.
I would like for these 7 to have a huge role into changing those numbers to 8s.
And we'll hire another guy, right?
And we'll hire an 8th guy. No doubt. Anything else on the front office? I think that, I know that Joe Castiglione and Joe Harris trusted Jim Nagy to go out and get some talented guys to work under him in that front office. And man, well, Nagy went and did the dang thing, man.
Yep. I guess, can we now say that the front office is fully operational?
I believe so. I mean, they put out a graphic and they're all wearing like suits and ties. It doesn't get more official than that, right?
Very official. I love it.
Recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Sooners got 3 commitments in the last 3 days. Let's start with cornerback Derrick Johnson II. He is committed to OU, a 6'1", 170-pound quarterback from Murrieta, California.
Mm-hmm.
Think I'm saying that right?
That's how I'm saying it. So hopefully that's
that was
right.
A very Oklahoma pronunciation. So just we're gonna live with it.
Murrieta.
You look at him. He's got the link you're looking for at corner. Long arms, and I went and watched all his highlight stuff. He can run, but it's kind of one of those situations where he never looks like he's running fast.
Yeah.
But if you watch the lines on the field, like with the stride. He's just a smooth looking athlete that never looks like he's in a hurry,
Yeah.
which I like at corner. But you can see that we talked about it being a more traits driven team. 6'1", long arm corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Got a nice frame for the position. Um, and I know that I don't know all of the services, but the ones I've seen have him as a 3-star. And it's one of those things where, I know that in college football, it's just been what we do. We get hung up on stars and where guys are ranked. And um, I this is you're going to get some 3-star guys, and this is where you have to trust the evaluation process, right? They're offering and recruit going after guys that they feel have something to bring. And I think a lot of, I mean, you're the 5-star guys, the super highly rated players, they're closer to finished products, right? Like you kind of know what you're going to get a little bit more. The lower you go, you're taking chances on guys saying like, hey, there's some traits here that we think they're going to grow into and some things that we see developmentally that you could build into a really good player. And it just comes back to that evaluation, man. We'll see where it goes. And to steal a phrase, trust the process.
One thing I like about Johnson is he's got some nice wide receiver highlights on
Yeah,
his highlight tape.
for sure.
I
Plays
always
both
like
sides.
seeing that from a corner. Like seeing the athleticism, being able to adjust the ball, just being able to handle play in wide receiver. If you're a great athlete at corner in high school, you should be able to go play some wide receiver. And he's got some nice wide receiver highlights on that highlight tape as well. So that's something that I like seeing when you're bringing in a guy to play defensive back.
Yeah, and he's got a pedigree. His dad was a corner at Washington. I think it was a 6th-round draft pick. Had multiple stops in the NFL, bounced around the league a little bit. So he's got the bloodline, and I don't know. Again, there's some really solid traits there that you feel are probably more of building blocks right now with a guy like this than anything.
He also doesn't look skinny. You
I
know how
agree.
some long corners look really skinny in high
Yep.
school?
Yep.
This is going to sound strange. He looks proportional.
Yeah. I don't mind having a robust corner.
I prefer my corners robust.
There you go.
Now that you mention it. All right, the second commitment for the Sooners, defensive end Matthew Nelson out of the state of Arkansas, which, by the way, OU has now gone into Arkansas and taken 2 out of the top 7 ranked players in that state.
Yeah, and had a couple of players from Arkansas last year, Amarian Robinson and was it Wimberley came from Arkansas. So dipping into Arkansas every now and then.
Don't mind it, especially when you look at a guy that is, what, 6'5", probably 220-ish pounds right now, but I saw him in person
Mhm.
last weekend. Big frame, long arm guy. And he's got plenty of frame to add weight. He's one of those guys that is going to get there and gain 20 pounds like that.
I, he may gain 20 pounds between now and the day he walks on campus. I mean, you just never know with those guys that have that length that can fill out just before you know it.
I watched the highlights, and remember, that's all I have to go on. But guy looks like he can really run
Mm-hmm.
and has a nice motor. And one of my favorite things about his highlight tape is it's not a bunch of snaps of him just jumping around blocks.
Yeah.
It's him playing with 2 hands in a guy's chest and then disengaging and going and making plays. I like that. I like seeing a guy show that on his highlight tape, it's him being physical at the point of attack and shedding blocks. I'm
Yeah.
a much bigger fan of that than, oh, he swim the guy right off the snap. That's great. But what am I really learning here?
Yeah. Running around a vastly overmatched tackle on the edge. Put some hands on a guy. Can you butt? Can you separate? Have you at least shown some of the framework of the position that you're going to be carrying to the next level?
Just like guys being physical,
Yeah.
Which Derrick Johnson II, he's got some really nice snaps of coming up and making some plays, like some tackles.
Mm-hmm.
May need to learn to wrap up a little more. He's throwing shoulders out there, but he's throwing them violently.
We need to take care of those shoulders at corner.
Fair enough. Did I tell you when at the Champ U barbecue, Gentry was there? And I just went up, I said, "Don't say anything." And I just put my hands on his shoulder. I was like, "Dear Jesus, please protect his shoulder." I thought it was necessary.
It is. It is. We've got a lot of that going around right now.
Third commitment that the Sooners got. 4-star offensive lineman Noah Best, 6'4", 300-ish pounds right now. And I can just tell you, saw him in person last weekend. Dude makes 300 pounds look really good. Lean.
Mm-hmm.
Also think he may be taller than 6'4". Now, it seems like the kid is still growing.
And he's an interior guy, right?
Yes. He's played tackle in high school, but I think the plan will be to bump him inside and play guard. I think that's where he'll be able to excel the most. You know how some of these guys are, like you're a good athlete, you're a good enough athlete to play tackle, but we kick you inside and all of a sudden you become a very high level guard.
Yeah.
I think
especially
that's kind of
there's so much guard pull and stuff. It's nice to have some high level athletes in the interior.
And he's lean, man. Talk about it a lot. I love lean linemen.
Yeah.
Don't love the super fat guys. It's just how
Long
I am.
arms?
And long arms. No T-Rex arms on Noah Best. I looked. Come on.
Sizing everyone up.
But yeah, I expect them to kick him inside. I think that'll set him up for the most success. I think that's his best chance of playing in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he moves well. One thing I will say, it's very, very difficult to focus during his highlight tape because his center snaps the ball with two hands in the gun.
Deep snapping it, huh?
No, it's like a double dead. I've never seen it.
Watermelon snap or something.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. But yeah, go watch his junior highlights. The center is snapping the ball with two hands. It's insane.
Most importantly, we got to get the ball back to the quarterback. We have to start there.
I literally had to watch the highlight tape 3 times because I kept getting distracted going, what is this kid doing? But hey, the snaps look pretty accurate, so if it ain't broke. But I really like the way Best comes off the ball. Looks like a high effort guy. There's a lot of clips of him finishing blocks with physicality, but with linemen, I'm always looking at the movement patterns, and he moves well, gets out of his stance well, has nice suddenness off the ball, looks very balanced in pass protection, even though it may not be the smoothest. He's not one of those guys that looks like he's floating in protection, if you will. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's why he's destined to be an interior guy. But he's got, I think, one of his biggest strengths when I watch is he always seems to be balanced, whether it's the run game, it's pass protection, and that's saying a lot for a high school lineman. There's a lot of guys that just have their weight all over the place, but I like the way that Best always seems to be kind of in control and balanced.
Well, that's a good place to start. I mean, that's probably one of the harder things. You want to be able to, you got big dudes in front of you and you just want to sell out and fire off, but you got to come with your feet and stay balanced. So it's good that he's already got a little bit of that built into his technique.
Only other recruiting thing is 5-star offensive tackle Felix Ojo canceled his official to OU next weekend. Obviously, he just didn't want to hear you speak on the player panel, Ted. That's the only thing I can think of.
Come on, Felix. Let's go. Give me a shot.
I believe that Ojo's a 5-star tackle for a reason. He's a very talented player. Went and watched everything. I was like, yeah, totally get it. But I think OU is feeling, I know he's not OU's top guy on their board at tackle. And I think that they're feeling very good about their top target. So,
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to think those two things aren't related. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. And I don't mind that. I give us the guys that you think that you can that translate the best. And yeah, hey, that's what if there's a link there, sounds good.
Yeah, we'll see. But we know that last weekend and next weekend are the two big recruiting pushes that this staff and this front office are making. So I know some OU fans have been very antsy, been checking those recruiting rankings. Like, wait, we're in the 30s? What? Patience. Patience. Hopefully, all the time and effort they put in, they've targeted their guys. Like, this is over this next month, you're hoping to really see this recruiting class start to come together.
Yeah. And it's so interesting that I mean, maybe this is probably a topic for another day. It's like, I wonder how this recruiting class and the July house set, like, I wonder how all of that is colliding at once and how all those pieces fit together is kind of interesting.
Not our problem, bud.
Not our problem, thank God.
We're just here to talk about it, you know?
That's right.
Just let us know and then we'll talk about it. All right, let's talk some NBA finals. We did an In the Weeds with Antonio Daniels that was just on YouTube, and it was so good. There's a lot of people that only listen to the audio version of the full episode, so we thought we'd put it in here because he recaps games
That's
1
awesome.
and 2, and then it's fantastic. So here's Antonio Daniels. But first, taking a road trip this summer? Remember to stop at Love's Travel Stops. You can't miss the heart of the highway, and with the Love's app, you can save big all summer long. You can save 10 cents per gallon on gas and up to 25 cents per gallon on auto diesel. Save with the Love's app this summer and be welcomed by clean places and friendly faces. Certain conditions may apply. See loves.com for details.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to fire up your cookouts than with Didier Ranch's steak burgers made from 100% premium cuts of steak. These burgers are the real deal. Juicy, flavorful, and packed with that rich, beefy taste that you love. Plus, they're shipped right to your door, so you can spend more time doing what you love and less time shopping. Head over to DidierRanch.com now and use code SOONER for a special discount on your first order. Get ready to taste the best burgers you've ever had. Proudly raised 100% in Oklahoma. Didier Ranch, steak in every bite.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma-owned company and the official drinkware partner of the OU Sooners. This month, to celebrate Dad and backed by popular demand, Simple Modern has released a unique OU tumbler while supplies last. Starting June 6th, grab one for your Sooner-loving dad or get one for yourself. But hurry, this limited fan-favorite design won't last long. We're also excited to announce that Simple Modern will be back this fall with a new limited edition tumbler unique for each and every OU home football game. Plus, with 10% of all Simple Modern profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, you're helping Oklahomans everywhere. Simple Modern, it's good everywhere. It is our pleasure to be joined by the New Orleans Pelicans color analyst. He is a host for SiriusXM Radio. Your guys' show is awesome, AD. And you're also just one of my favorite people in NBA media. Antonio Daniels is back, baby. What's up, man?
What's up, Gabe? How you doing, my brother?
The Thunder in the finals, man. I'm doing really, really well.
Man, I can imagine. I know Oklahoma City right now is going crazy. I can't imagine.
Correct.
We're 2 games in.
Mm-hmm.
What's your impressions? I mean, 2 kind of different games, the way they played out. What do you think so far?
My thought hasn't changed. I picked OKC up front in 5. I picked them in 5, and my thought hasn't changed. You know, I know a lot of people's thoughts changed after game 1. I go all the way back to 2001. If you remember when the Philadelphia 76ers and Allen Iverson played the Los Angeles Lakers, and they went into the Staples Center at the time and they stole game one. And it was like, oh my gosh, you know what? Now everything's different. And then the better team, which was the Los Angeles Lakers at that time, settled in and won 4 straight games. I picked the Thunder in 5, and I'm staying with that pick because I'm not saying that Indiana's not capable. This is a team that is a very good team, very good home team. I get all that. I just believe in what the Thunder have done all year long in comparison to what Indiana's done all year long. So my thought hasn't changed. My thought is still the Thunder in 5. So basically what I'm saying is Indiana got that one win out the way, and I'm predicting now the Thunder will win the next 3 games.
Well, I'm a big fan of that, AD. I like hearing that. Now, after, game 2 last night, were there anything that really stood out to you from an adjustment standpoint that you saw from the Thunder? Did they do anything differently that you really noticed?
You know what's wild? Like when you look at game 1, after game 1, all the talk centered around Tyrese Halliburton. All the talk was about Tyrese Halliburton. But the thing is, if you look at game 1, he didn't play well. He hit a shot, but he didn't play well. And there's a drastic difference in the two. He was clutch when it mattered, but throughout the course of the game, they did a very good job keeping him under wraps. And here's the thing, fellas. There are certain things that are sustainable. And that's how I looked at game 1, right? Is what the Oklahoma City Thunder did, is it sustainable for the remainder of the series? Yes, it is. You know why? Because this is the best defensive team in the league for a reason. Tyrese Halliburton has totaled 29 points in 2 games. That's 14.5 points per game. Tyrese Halliburton's a guy who is known for taking care of the basketball. He has 8 turnovers in 2 games. That's 4 turnovers per game. That's not like him. But the thing is, what the Thunder do is sustainable. They literally can put 5 guys on the floor that are capable of being first or second team on defense. And Casey Wallace, and Alex Caruso, and Chet Holmgren, and Lou Dort, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then J-Dub. That gives you 6 guys. Their point of attack defense is unmatched in this league. So I feel like what they bring to the table defensively, regardless as to how they're shooting the basketball, is sustainable throughout the course of this series because this is who they've been all year long.
One of the conversations coming out of game 1 is the Thunder got to get more out of Chet. They got to get more out of Jalen Williams. I thought Chet was excellent. Did you see anything different with his approach in game 2 as opposed to game 1?
A lot of times you need guys don't know what they don't know. Like this stage is different. Every round that you advance is different. So the Thunder, they play Memphis first round, right? And it's like, oh, okay, you know what? That's cool. And then they advance and then they play Denver. And you have the ultimate amount of respect for Nikola Jokic for pushing that 7 games, right? That speaks to his greatness. But then now you step to the next round, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is the Western Conference Finals. And here's the thing. If you've never been to the finals before, you don't understand what that stage is like until you've gone there. So there is a stage fright. There is a like, oh my gosh. Like, you remember back in Hoosiers when they go in and they're in there and it's like, look, the court is still the same. It's still 10 feet off the ground. Like, I get it. Sometimes it takes guys a little longer to settle in. And yesterday, it just looked like Chet Holmgren and J-Dub, they just looked more at ease. It was almost like they got the jitters out. They got the jitters out after game 1 and felt more mentally and physically prepared for game 2.
You are the perfect guy to ask this question because throughout your playing career, you were a heavy minute starter. And then at points in time, you were a role guy coming off the bench. How difficult is it to do what Aaron Wiggins did in game 2?
I tell you what, I give the ultimate amount of respect to Mark Daigneault. You know why? Because he prepares his guys for this all year. This starts in October, right? This doesn't start in June, right? This doesn't start now. This starts all the way back in October. The thing that has set the Thunder apart, and the reason right now that I believe they're 81-20, is because of their depth, right? That starts at the top. the coach infusing confidence in everybody throughout the course of the season. It's not like Aaron Wiggins didn't play all year long and now he was just called upon. He was one of the most improved players this year and helped the Thunder get to 68 wins. There was a question this year to speak to the progress of Aaron Wiggins. Would you rather have Aaron Wiggins or Andrew Wiggins? That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot to actually have Aaron Wiggins in the same conversation and category as Andrew Wiggins, because Andrew Wiggins was the #1 overall pick in the draft. But that speaks to how much Aaron Wiggins has grown. Think about this, Gabe. Think about the fact that in the biggest game of the year for the Thunder, which was game 1, what Mark Daigneault did is he took Isaiah Hartenstein out and he put in Casey Wallace. You want to talk about infusing confidence and showing a player or players that you believe in them? Again, this started all the way back in October, and I'm not surprised that it's playing dividends now.
We're going to Indiana. And I agree about, game 1, it's a new stage. It's the finals. Mm-hmm. There's some difference there. Is that going to kind of start over again now that you're going on the road into a different environment? And what, if anything, will the Pacers present differently after they've seen a couple of games here and they're headed to their own place?
Well, first and foremost, they'll play faster at home. That's a given. Because they'll play faster at home because they'll play better at home because role players tend to play better at home. The same way we saw Alex Caruso and Wiggins and those guys step up in Oklahoma City, you'll see other guys play better at home in Indiana, because the crowd's behind them, the energy is there. So first and foremost, they realize to beat this Oklahoma City Thunder team, they have to play faster. That's easier said than done, though. But everything starts with Therese Halliburton. And I love what I pay attention to, attention to detail, doing the little things well, understanding personnel, what they do well, and how to kind of negate what they do. I thought the Thunder did a fantastic job at cutting off Therese Halliburton's right hand in game 2. A fantastic job. Actually, in this entire series, again, he has 29 points in 2 games. That speaks volumes. Do you expect him to play better at home? Yeah. Do you expect Nembhard to play better and Neesmith and those guys to play better? Yes, I do expect that. So I think what they'll do is they'll try and play to their identity. And to me, fellas, this is what this series is all about. It's a team of 2 identities, right? Which identity will be stronger? Is it Oklahoma City's ability to defend at a high level, or is it Indiana's ability to speed up the pace of the game and play faster? Something has to give. If Indiana gets up into the 120, 125, 130 mark, that's great for them, but it's not good for OKC's defense. If you can keep them to 110 and under, that's great for OKC's defense, but not good for Indiana's offense. So I would expect the Pacers to try and increase the pace of play and to speed the game up.
There's been a lot of talk about Oklahoma City's defense and what this group is able to do collectively on that end of the floor, essentially all season long. Right. As a former player, as an analyst, what really stands out about what they do defensively to you, AD?
The crazy thing is the collective picture is they're when that ball's on the floor, whether it's a loose ball or the ball's in the post or somebody's penetrated, they're like a pack of hyenas after that basketball. It's not safe anywhere, but it starts with individual ball containment. And again, they do the minute and boring things really well. And that's what stands out about OKC, because it's easier to have a collectively good defense when you can individually guard your man, when you're not playing in constant rotation, right? So when you look at their point of attack defenders, I'll go back to it again. Casey Wallace, excellent on-ball defender. Alex Caruso, excellent on-ball defender. Lou Dort, first team all defense. J-Dub, second team all defense. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you can argue whether or not he should have been on one of the all defensive teams. And then you got the rim protection of Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. So they have individual excellent point of attack defenders, which starts everybody's defense off. But collectively, they do a fantastic job at doing the boring things, the minute things extremely well. That's why They are the best defensive team in the league. That's how you get 68 wins in a regular season, right? That's why they're 81-20 right now on the entire season.
Forgive this as if this is a dumb question. The pressure defensively by the Thunder, I agree. It's intense. It's brutal, nonstop. They've been at home. My impression is that the officiating has been, they've been letting them play. Does that dynamic change when you go on the road?
You know what? I'll say this, and we've talked about this as on my SiriusXM show with Rob Perez. You know what I would love, fellas? I would love if there was one officiating crew assigned to this series. I'm talking about one.
You get in the flow and kind of feel
no question. Now I know, as a player,
Yeah.
I know how the game is going to be officiated. But when you have one crew on Thursday, and then another crew on Sunday, and then another crew on Wednesday, I don't know how the game's going to be officiated. And realistically speaking, the more physical that they're allowed to play, the more beneficial it is for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Because you look at all of their point of attack defenders, they are all excellent physical defenders. That's what makes it so tough. I've heard Therese Halliburton talk about it. I've heard Pascal Siakam talk about it. How you have to be stronger with the basketball, right? How you have to match their physicality and match their intensity. And again, a lot of this does depend on the way the game is being officiated. But I will say this, from day one of the playoffs, it's been a completely different game. The officials have kind of put their whistles away and done what fans have asked. That is to allow the players to dictate and determine the outcome. I love the amount of physicality that has existed throughout this playoffs.
Shea is, let's be honest, putting together one of the all-time seasons we've ever seen in this league. I thought in game 2, he did a better job, especially early, like getting other guys involved.
Correct.
Getting them in a rhythm. Just what has stood out to you about the league MVP so far through the finals?
I'll tell you what's wild about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The national narrative would take you somewhere where it shouldn't, which is unfair to his talent. Because this is what the conversation should be about. The conversation should be about how daggone good that young man is, how incredible he is in between the four lines. But it always tends to go off to, well, he gets to the line too much, or I don't like his style of play. No. He's smart. It's the game within the game. What I noticed from game 1 to game 2, he was almost intentional at getting everybody else involved. Because what started our conversation, fellas, was the fact that J-Dub needed to be better and Chet Holmgren needed to be better. We aren't the only one that understood that. He understands that as well. When you're the guy who has that responsibility on his shoulders, you know it's also on you to get other guys involved and to make sure that they're ready to go and comfortable. Because if they're good, we're good. And it was almost like he went out with the intention of, you know what, I got to get everybody else involved because I know I'm going to have the ball in my hands. I'm going to have the opportunity to find my own. So I thought the balance of facilitating and scoring was better in game 2 than it was in game 1, although he scored more in game 1 than he did in game 2. I felt his overall impact and presence more in game 2.
Back to your point about role players playing better at home. We all know that Chet and J-Dub struggled in game 1, better in game 2. What do you expect from those guys on the road in game 3?
I don't. For me, it's not really about Chet and J-Dub. Like those guys, when you're a part of a quote unquote big 3, I don't think that you are a role player. You know what I mean? When I think of role players, I'm thinking of Wiggins and Wallace, Caruso and Hartenstein. Some of the other guys that are coming off that bench where you need it. The bench scored 48 points in game 2 to 28 points in game 1. There's a drastic difference in the two. One of the benefits and one of the blessings that Mark Daigneault has at his disposal is depth. It's depth. You can go 8, 9 deep because when you're playing against the Indiana Pacers, it becomes a war of attrition. It becomes okay, this is a foot race. Who can last the longest? right? So you need those guys to come off the bench and give you valuable minutes. And thus far, they've done a pretty good job of that. But when you look at the landscape of the entire season, outside of having the MVP, outside of J-Dub getting third team All NBA, it's been their defense and their depth that has set them apart from the rest of the NBA.
You played in the finals, you won an NBA championship. What are the days between games like? I gotta imagine they're just brutal, man.
Yes, like you're a creature of habit. So one of the things you're accustomed to doing, if you go all the way back from October through the second week of April, you're used to playing every other day. Time off sometime is great, like if you have to heal something or somewhere. But like after game one, that 48 hours in between takes forever because you're ready to get back on the floor. You know, it took Therese Halliburton knocking down a Therese Halliburton shot to win game one. You are so ready to get back on that floor. Now, after you complete and win game two, you're ready to get back out there again, right? So you have all today. Think about how miserable it is for us that love the sport of basketball to now have no basketball today and no basketball tomorrow. And now you got to wait until Wednesday evening to actually watch the game. It's worse when you're just sitting around because there's nothing that you can actually do. You are mentally prepared. You are physically prepared. You've watched in this film. You know what they're doing. They know what you're doing. You are just ready to see it all play out in between the four lines.
Strategically speaking, are there any other places you feel like the Pacers may go to try and change things up and just kind of change the way things have gone, or are they just going to kind of continue to do what they do?
I think they're going to do what they do because this is what got them there. Yeah. You know, you don't change who you are or change your identity because you lost a game. Realistically speaking, from the Indiana Pacers side, they came, they saw, and they conquered. This is all you want. When you go on the road, you just want to win one. You win two, that's being greedy, which is the mindset, and they came with that mindset. But when you go on the road, your job is to get one of the two. And you know what they did? They got one of the two. Losing game two is not going to change Rick Carlisle's style of coaching. It's like, oh, now we got to make some huge adjustment. No, because now you're coming back at home. The energy will be behind you. You're expecting certain players to play better. The energy will be in that building. Now you're just seeing if the Oklahoma City Thunder and that young roster can match that energy and that physicality or surpass it.
Everything good down there in New Orleans, man? Some big changes, a little controversy. You guys all good?
Yeah. We're definitely all good, brother. We're all good.
Good.
You live, you learn, you move on, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, the West is – you just look at what the West is going to be like for the foreseeable future. It's going to be crazy, dude.
That's an understatement. When you look – I thought the West this year was the deepest that I can remember it being, and I don't know how long. Because when you take out the teams that were tanking, you can almost go 1 through 13 where teams realistically came into this year expecting to compete. Like you think of the teams that didn't make the playoffs out of the West. The Pelicans didn't make the playoffs, but they came into this season expecting to. Then they got injury hit, right? The Sacramento Kings, they'll be better moving forward. The San Antonio Spurs were expecting to, and then Victor Wembanyama got hurt, and then De'Aaron Fox got hurt. So when you look at some of these teams in the West and how deep they are, we saw the jump that Portland made with Chauncey Billups, right? When you look at some of these teams and how they are maneuvering now moving forward, it's the West is deep. So you have to be healthy throughout the course of the season, and you have to be focused because there are no nights off anymore. There are no nights off. I will guarantee you the Utah Jazz will not tank this year healthy. Guarantee you they won't. So you'll have 15 teams in the West competing for 8 spots. That's tough.
Yeah. And, I don't know what happens the rest of the finals, but in your mind, what's the next 4 or 5 years in the NBA going to look like?
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see the fans of the NBA start to not just speak, but to act on passing the torch to the next generation, right? Because right now it's still about LeBron, especially after the Olympics. It's still about LeBron and Steph and KD and those guys. I've heard so many people say, oh, you know what? I don't want to watch the finals because LeBron's not in it or because Steph's not in it. And the ratings will go down. You know, we always talk about wanting to do something. I think it's time to start to pass the torch to the next generation of stars. That's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's Therese Halliburton, right? That's Anthony Edwards. That's Jalen Brunson. A lot of these young stars that are coming up, it doesn't mean that you have to forget about LeBron and forget about Steph and forget about KD and forget about Chris Paul. But I think it's also healthy just to recognize that the NBA is in great hands moving forward. And it's okay to start to pass the torch to that next generation.
AD, you're the man. Game 3 prediction. You already said you got the Thunder winning the game?
I do.
Okay.
The Thunder winning the game. Their defense to me is sustainable and it is incredibly strong. Indiana's going to have a tough time playing to their identity.
Well, you and Rob's show is fantastic. I tune in all the time, man. You guys are doing an awesome job. And I really love that you're so confident in the Thunder. I honestly, I feel better after this conversation. You're the man.
Thank you, guys. You guys deserve it. That fan base deserves it.
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
Oklahoma's favorite pub, Pub W, is a modern American pub offering a great new take on classic drinks and cuisine. They offer an extensive beer and specialty drink selection with something for everyone, and that's exactly why Pub W was voted best happy hour. And we all love a delicious brunch. Pub W brunch is served Saturdays and Sundays until 2 p.m. with some of the most delicious brunch offerings you'll find anywhere. Now open in Yukon, Oklahoma. Visit one of their 6 Oklahoma locations. Visit pubdub.com for locations and menus.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
Let's finish up with our winners and losers of the week. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Murray State going to Omaha. How about that? We finally, the field is set. College baseball is getting underway Friday. Omaha, Murray State coming through, knocking out Duke in dramatic fashion. That was a great game. And look at Coastal Carolina and Murray State making it to Omaha. I love it. UCLA is their first matchup. That's going to be on Saturday. The action, like I said, Coastal Carolina starts it off on Friday against Arizona. But what a good story, man. Small school. I don't know that they've ever been, or it's the first time they've been in a incredibly long time. I know a lot of people probably saw it where they passed around, like it was going around on Twitter, the picture of the ballpark, 800 people, head coach still mows the field. The players are the grounds crew rolling out the tarp. Very, very cool stuff.
What do you think about the reseed conversation that's taking place? Because you look at it, Arkansas and LSU
Right.
are playing each other, and LSU was the number 6 overall seed and Arkansas was 3. And they get each other in the first game. Meanwhile, UCLA gets Murray State.
Well, here's what I'll say. This is just my personal opinion on it. you got your diehard college baseball fans that are going to follow it every year, no matter what. And then you've got your 8 teams that have made it. You've got those fan bases. Outside of that, you don't draw a whole heck of a lot of interest. And one thing that people rally around is long shots. And there's no better way, in my opinion, to draw a bunch of attention to the tournament other than having a couple of long shot teams have a chance to make a run. So I'm sorry, Arkansas, LSU. Just the way that it fell, not optimal, but I like that it gives those other schools maybe a little bit better of a chance of making their way a little bit deeper into the action.
All right, here we go. Murray State quiz. You ready?
Oh boy.
What state is Murray State University in?
Kentucky.
Nailed it. How'd you know that?
Because I felt I maybe heard or saw someone talking about it, but that was 90% guess.
Well, absolutely nailed it. What is their mascot?
Racers. Because they're racing to Omaha. I saw that somewhere as well.
I don't even know. We shouldn't keep going, right? I mean, you're daily. It's a waste of our time. Very impressive, sir.
I think we've probed the depth of my Murray State knowledge. I don't think I have anything else for you.
I don't even know what other questions I would ask. That would require some more than a simple Google.
That's all I've got.
That's
all I got.
I think the most important question is how will they do when it comes to the Jello shot situation? We'll see.
I got a lot of pressure. I mean, what's the name of that place that sells those? Is it
starts
Rocco's?
With an R? Roscoe's?
Something like that. Probably like whenever the original tournament, the whole thing was laid out there, I bet they were just salivating at the thought of how many Jello shots they were going to sell. This is not, at least appearances, doesn't appear like they're going to sell a record number of Jello shots this year. LSU can't do a number though.
Don't doubt the Arizona people.
Yeah. Okay.
Those people in the desert can get down a little bit.
If you get the right crowd there, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be I don't know if this is the right word for it, but it feels like a very random College World Series.
It really does.
So it should be a lot of fun to watch. I'll watch it. Why not?
It looks totally, I doubt that very many people's bracket looks like this whenever they filled it out in the beginning. We thought there was going to be a bunch of SEC teams in there, and we got 2, and they're playing each other in the first game.
Should be a lot of fun. All right, who do you have as your loser of the week?
I had to go with College Gameday just because Lee Corso, last show in Columbus, Ohio State, Texas, icon, been doing it forever since they started in 87. And then I think they, turned into the Game Day as we know it in 93. He's been there all along. We've all got our favorite moments, a bunch of just hilarious moments with the headgear and everything. But last show will be in Columbus, Ohio State, Texas, in that week 1 matchup, which, kind of interesting side note. I think there's a good chance that OU Michigan in week 2, there's not a lot of other games that week. I'm guessing that's going to be Game Day in week 2. That'll be the first show, and I'm sure he's missed along the way, but the first Game Day without Lee Corso as a part of the show.
He's got to put Brutus on, right?
Oh, yeah. 100%. I don't know, though. I mean,
if you're Texas, you can't even be mad.
No.
I think every Texas fan.
That's a showman, though. That's a showman.
Good point.
You never know.
What happens if he gets on Bevo?
Oh my gosh.
He's
Well,
going out with a bang, baby.
as drugged up as Bevo is, though, I don't know that you'd have a whole lot of action there, but that's still a 1,500-pound animal. Be pretty dangerous. But yeah, expect the unexpected with Corso in his last go round.
That should be an awesome game. I know both teams, when you think about what both teams lost off those rosters, but it's
yeah. I
Texas,
like Texas,
Ohio State
right
in
now.
Columbus.
Things could obviously change, but I think I like the continuity, and I like what Texas has done a little bit more right now. I know they both have a new quarterback, but it's going to be a little bit different with Ohio State. I think new defensive coordinator up there at Ohio State, new play caller. I mean, there's a lot of things rolling around up there. So I don't know. I like Texas now, but I think it has all the makings of a great game.
There's going to be a lot of crying on that game day set.
I know.
There is. I'm looking forward to it.
Going to be cool. Going to be cool. But end of an era.
Herb Street. I want Herb Street to do like a monologue about Corso at some point on there. He won't be able to keep it together, I'm guessing.
No way.
But I don't want him to keep it together. I want him to lose it. I want that man ugly crying, talking about how much Lee Corso means to him. That's what I want.
And you know he's going to. He's gotten a little more emotional as the years have gone by. So I fully expect that. There's going to be a whole lot of, I don't know what all they're going to do, but you would expect that there's going to be tons of tributes and plenty of time on the broadcast for that.
Very few clips better than Lee Corso with the Sooner Schooner hat firing the Roughnecks guns.
Pretty good.
Very few clips better than that one.
Pretty good. And all I can think about is because those things are so incredibly loud, what that did to the eardrums on set.
Not good, man.
Because I don't know if everyone knew he was going to shoot that thing or not.
That will be an awesome game day, an awesome atmosphere, and should be an awesome football game.
I think so.
With several grown men crying
on
the pregame show.
The waterworks will be flowing.
Fantastic. If they cry, I may cry. It's been established I'm a crier. Is what it is. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, 3 things matter in banking. Service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise. It's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off.
And we are brought to you by Mando. New customers go to shopmando.com, get 20% off state or site-wide with our code OKBreakdown. Summer is here, and that makes the deodorant you choose to use very important. Been struggling with the heat and humidity. We've got great news for you. Introducing the Mando Deodorant Plus Sweat Control Solid Stick. Double protection. And finally, you get the odor control you love with Mando Plus Powerful Sweat Control. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice and free shipping. New customers get 20% off site-wide on shopmando.com with our code OKBreakdown. That's shopmando.com, code OKBreakdown for 20% off for new customers. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness.
For my winner of the week, the Florida Panthers.
That was an ass. whipping.
Ted, we talked about how amazing the first two games were. Overtime thrillers. One just overtime, the other two overtimes. Incredible games. Incredibly entertaining for a hockey casual like me to watch. Game 3 was a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. And the series is 2-1, but that game was so one-sided, it doesn't feel 2-1.
No.
That felt substantial.
There was an early second period. There was a moment where the Oilers scored to cut it 2-1, and I was like, okay, here they come. We're going to get another amazing game. And incorrect. The Florida Panthers just dismantled them. Final score 6-1. And while we didn't get the super entertaining hockey game that I wanted to get, we did get a melee at the end. 2 of them. Whatever you want to call it. My favorite thing about hockey, guys, is they can just look at each other at a point in a game and go, hey, you all want to fight? And the other guys go, yeah, sure, let's all fight.
There's an unspoken language going on out there that they are all very highly in tune with, that the viewing audience just, I don't know, maybe the people that watch it more know and can pick up on it, but it's just like, it's almost like they're all wearing earpieces and someone says, okay, it's not a good game, just fight.
The game is out of hand. No one's going to keep watching unless you all start punching each other in the face. And that's basically what happened. But it looked, I think the reason was, what's the guy's name? Brennan? Is that right? Bennett, who's been awesome. I think they took a little shot at him, and that really set things in motion. Because there were 2 instances in the third period, one about midway through and one towards the end, where every guy on the ice was locked up with another guy punching them. It was great. I'm so glad I kept watching. I didn't turn it off. I was like, oh, there's nothing really else on. It was fantastic. I just got to watch guys, exhausted men, try to punch each other in the face. It was kind of great.
Some of the best stuff is whatever that's going on, just to watch the referees. And they just kind of, they give it time, and they'll just kind of stand there and watch for a while. And if they see a moment to step in, they'll step in. But a lot of just kind of circling, not a whole lot of interaction until it's like, let's let them tire out a little bit before we jump in there.
I loved it. Let the people watch. I don't know much about hockey. I know the rules. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have 0 X's and O's knowledge. But I do know 3 power play goals for the Panthers. That's good. Good execution on the power play, Ted.
Yeah, got to work on that power play defense a little bit. We've got some holes there, Edmonton.
Couple wide open shots. Not what you're looking for in the penalty kill.
Nope.
Interesting.
Nope.
We'll see if they can make the proper adjustments.
They will. Listen, drama comes in all kinds of different forms. They could be 7 just incredibly tight games, or you could have someone feels like they're going to run away with the series, and then someone comes steaming back and tries to close out and finish it. We'll see what happens.
I'll keep watching. I'll be tuned into game 4. Guaranteed. It's got to be closer than 6-1, right? I mean, come on.
When is it? Is that Wednesday night?
No, it'll be, remember, no conflicts with the NBA, so it'll be Thursday.
Okay. Gotcha.
I say that. Yes, Thursday. Thursday, June 12th.
You said it with such confidence at first.
Well, I remember we went over it a couple episodes ago. Hey, no conflicts. Shout out to the NHL and NBA, and just trust yourself. Trust yourself. And important reminder to everyone out there. Trust yourself. My loser of the week. Watching professional golfers make birdies. Watching professional golfers go low. Ted, Oakmont Country Club is looking like an absolute beast for the U.S. Open. These videos on social media are insane.
It it almost has the feel of like an impossible miniature golf course or something, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
like,
Did you see the guy putt it on the first hole from like 122 yards out?
yeah, it's like I'm sitting there thinking that may be the only way you're going to be able to stop it on the green. You may practice a few more of those.
It is. I've seen so many videos of people saying, "Yeah, I would absolutely take even par right now."
Did you see where they were asking guys what a 18 handicap would shoot?
Incredible.
150?
I
I don't know.
my
I
favorite.
don't think they would finish, is what I'm saying.
He's my favorite was the guy that said if they have 12 balls, they would not finish.
Mm-mm. I saw. What
Have
was
you
it?
ever heard golfers talk about a golf course the way that these guys are talking about it?
No. I saw. Was it Shane Lowry that was hitting out of the rough that swung as hard as he could and the ball went about 10 feet? I mean, just lettuce.
From what I understand, I've read, a bunch of preview articles about it and watched a bunch of these guys' interviews. It sounds like Oakmont is in the conversation for the world's hardest golf course.
Yeah.
So
That's how it's supposed to be.
But which is interesting because there's no trees and there's no water. Just the scariest rough imaginable. And greens that are like glass.
It's like it's almost like just hit, like whoever wins is going to hit the most fairways. Because if you're not in the fairway, you got no shot of ever being able to stop it on the green. You basically are just going to have to punch out and try and do something from there. So I don't know. I love it. It's the best, right? They look human.
You're a cheer for the course guy.
Yes. I want a bloodbath.
This is the tournament for you, my friend.
I want 80s. I want guys just really mad in the post round press conferences talking about how ridiculous it is. You're playing the same course, gentlemen, right? You're all playing the same course.
Did you see Rory said that when he came in practice, he birdied the last two holes to shoot 81? And he was like, I didn't even play that. I didn't even think I played that bad.
Just you go and look at the scorecard, it's like, oh boy, wow. Which, maybe that's not going to be bad. There's going to be some huge numbers out there, but it'll be interesting to see, because they have some tools at their disposal managing the course to where if it gets out of, well, I guess I say that sometimes whenever they lose it, it's hard to bring it back, right? Like if they make it too tough, like you can't do much with it.
You can water the greens. That's about it.
Yeah.
And hope that they get a little softer. But if it's going to be hot, this feels like it's going to just be chaos.
Do not tee off unless the people working down the fairways are all looking at you hitting, because if they don't see your ball go into the rough, you will never find it. There's no way. Impossible.
Did you see Justin Thomas's tweet?
Mm-mm.
He said, so much talk about what would X handicap shoot at Oakmont. Why don't we find a way to make it happen? Have a 5, 10, 18, whatever handicap play Monday after the U.S. Open. Back tees, full rules of golf, and see what happens. May have to let a few groups through and allow for 6 to 7 hours, but I think we're all here for it. No. Would you do it?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I would do it. I
Yeah.
I have no problem getting embarrassed on the golf course. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, seriously. For me, what's the worst that could happen? Like it would be the first time I shoot in the triple digits. I can do that on a random day on the easiest golf course in America. So, of course, I'd do it.
We're not scared of you.
Do it.
We're not scared of you, Oakmont.
I'd
We're used to
sum
firing
be
high numbers, baby.
I would pay a lot of money to be able to go do that on Monday with Justin Thomas filming and laughing the whole time. I'm fine with that.
That would be really fun. Sign us up. Justin Thomas, we're in. We'll do
What
it.
shot should I hit here? For you, I would just try and find the golf ball with the club. Just try and do that. That's what you need to do.
Scotty Scheffler's never won a U.S. Open.
I mean, it's not like it's a hard pick or anything, but the consistency right now, that's what's going to be key, right? Just whoever can play consistent game without, because you may have some serious blow up holes for guys.
I think maybe the one thing that could hold Scheffler back is his putting's been an issue in the past with the way that all these videos of these greens that I've seen. It looks scary, but it doesn't feel like that's been a big issue for him lately when he's been on this tear.
Yeah. I don't know.
Rory hasn't looked good since the Masters.
It kind of feels like he's checked out since he completed the slam.
He said it a little bit. It's been hard for him to go grind and practice.
It'll show.
And driver's been an issue. And this golf course, if driver is an issue, you are in trouble.
Yeah, because it's so incredibly long. And if you miss fairways, you are dead.
Bryson, defending the title. If he hits it straight off the tee, he's going to be in it. He's going to be right there.
Yeah.
If he's spraying it, he's going to be in trouble just like everyone else. But if that driver's cooking, he'll be right in the mix.
He's going to have to pick his chances to let it eat, just because you won't be able to afford a big miss.
I'd like to see Rahm get back in the mix.
No way.
Really?
He runs too hot for a course like that.
He's like the third betting favorite. Scheffler's plus 275, Bryson's plus 750, Rahm and Rory are plus 1200. So,
I mean, I get it, but
the odds makers think he got a chance there, Ted.
He's going to go throw a 7 or an 8 on the front 9 of day one and just lose his cool. Get mad at the course, get mad at the organizers. If he could keep his cool, he's got the game for sure.
Two more things.
He'll probably be the guy that wants to win it the least, like Dustin Johnson,
Harris English.
Right.
Just if Dustin Johnson comes to that, didn't he win one here?
I think so.
Wasn't that like 2016 or something like that?
He birdied 18 where he wasn't sure if he was going to have the penalty stroke or not. And I think he birdied 18 it's like the 490-yard par 4. Hit it to like 4 feet.
I watch a lot of live golf. Dustin Johnson has, how they talk about a guy's form coming into event?
Mm-hmm.
Form hasn't been great for DJ. So we'll see.
That's what I'm saying. It's the guy that is just that kind of there,
Did you see Jason Day's outfit practicing on Tuesday?
Remind me. I think I did. Yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Stars and bars on the shorts.
Going all out.
Is it Malbon? Is that how you say that golf apparel? Malbon?
Ooh.
Malbon?
You got me on that.
Malbon? It's all the fashion stuff that Jason Day wears these days. It's pretty interesting, but I respect an Australian man showing respect for the red, white, and blue. The U.S. Open.
Pays off for him. That's how you get the gallery on your side.
He was also wearing high-top golf shoes.
I've seen that. Koepka was doing that whenever he was red hot several years back, right? Whenever he had that 2 or 3 year run, wasn't he wearing high tops?
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure though.
I'd rock some high top golf shoes. I've just never seen them really. I could use some ankle support out there.
Maybe this is maybe there's some ticks in that high rough out there. Need to wear some high tops. I need something. It seems too hot, doesn't it?
Yeah. Seems hot.
A lot of walking. I don't know.
Last question about U.S. Open at Oakmont. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch. I actually am. I'm really excited, and maybe an unpopular opinion. I hope someone goes out there and goes low. It just shows the course who is boss.
Hey,
I
and
would love it.
I got no problem with that. Whenever it's a brutal course, and like when there's like two or three guys go out and shoot like 64, 65, you're kind of like, come on. But if someone goes low on the way that course is playing right now, respect.
Hole 8, par 3, 289 yards. I saw a video of Morikawa hitting driver into it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can hit it, the good thing it's a bad thing, but I have like 6,000 RPM on my driver and hit it sky high, so it may be an option. But if I'm trying to shoot the best score, I need to like lay up, punch a 3 hybrid out there or something, and try and take a wedge in.
I think that's the strategy I would go with, like hit hybrid off the tee.
It's a par 3, but for me, I'm playing it as kind of like a par 5. If I could take a 5, I'll be happy.
Maybe take a 3-wood, hit it and pray.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But yeah, hybrid, 58-degree wedge in. Hopefully put it close, call today.
3 putt, go to the next hole.
Golf's the best. Golf's fun. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun to watch.
I can't wait, though. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
Seriously looking forward to it.
Birthday shout-outs. Happy first birthday to Malachi Emmanuel Yohannan.
Nice. Happy 5th birthday to Cade Campbell.
Happy 18th birthday to Riley Clark.
And happy 41st birthday to Carrie Bailey.
On that note, episode 536 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Sunday. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our website, okbreakdown.com. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.